Welcome to the instructional handover video for this Burstner Solano T695. It's a 2008 model and it's based on the Fiat Ducato. This one's on the heavier chassis with the increased brake horsepower to 160. So going around the vehicle on the outside, just behind the driver's door, we have the gas locker area. You'll see that there is positions there for 2 bottles, and we also have your filler pipe to extend the grey waste outlet, which goes onto the other side of the vehicle. You'll see the regulators there, and it will take up to 2 11 refillables, 2 13s at a squeeze, but generally 2 6 kilograms. Propane is what is fitted by the customers. So there's a single key that locks all the external lockers and the habitation door. The door here is the Chausson door, so it opens up quite clearly. We've got your blind built in, and we've got your locking point from inside, which I'll show you once we get inside the vehicle. Above that is fitted with a Fiamma awning. I'll send you a separate video of how to use the awning. And further behind the back wheel, where you'll find your toilet filler. So general standard option here, so lift up the little yellow lever to slide the toilet out. You'll unscrew the cap, which will allow you then to release out anything that's in there, and press the little yellow button at the bottom to let the vacuum out. It does have wheels and a handle, and when you've emptied it and cleaned it, just slide it back in so that that just sits over there nice and neat. So you've got room to put some small chemical bottles at the side, and then that again locks with just the normal Burstner key. The door has a retainer, just pops in there, and we can also find the awning pull just located there. Vehicle comes with a makeup cushion and some carpets, and you'll find the boiler for this particular model. It's located just in the back corner of the vehicle. Just there. You've got heater vents, so that will circulate the air into this area, and there are tie down points in the corners of all 4 areas, just so you want to secure anything for moving around. You also have that facility in the vehicle. Again, the garage locks with the single key at both the top and the bottom. It's fitted with a tow bar, and halfway up you have a reverse camera that is fitted to the vehicle as well. On the passenger side, underneath here is where your wastewater comes out, and that pipe that I showed you earlier goes in. We have the little handle on the top, which just turns through the pipe, so sort of in parallel with it, to allow the water to drain out for your wastewater. Turn it crossways, and that will stop the water from coming out and will allow the tank to fill up inside the vehicle till you get to the waste disposal point for your grey water. Above it is the vent for the truma heating. Hasn't got a cover, and you don't need to remove anything. Just be careful it does get warm. And then, as you can see there clearly, we have the mains plug-in point for the mains electric. Fridge vents, both low and high, can be found there. And then forward of that, we have, again using the same key, the freshwater filler point, to which there is a plug to put into the tank when I show you when we go inside, to stop it from draining down. So that's your freshwater fill. In the little locker on the lower skirt is where you will find the leisure battery located just there. It has a little stay to leave that door open, just like so. Forward of that, we've got your diesel filler point, and into the cab area we have your bonnet release catch, which can just be found there. And we have underneath the seat your mains fuse box and e-box, what we call the e-box, can be found just underneath that section there. The engine battery is actually located under this section here, so if you're wondering where it is, that's where it is. And like I say, your bonnet release catch is just there. It's fitted with electric windows, and it also comes as standard with the Remis cab lines. So they will work both on the side doors, and then by just flicking the little buttons at the top and the bottom, it will close across the cab area, press them back down, and then clip them just in place with these 2 little switches here to release it for the cab area. So the mirrors are foldable and electrically operated. Again, you can see the bonnet lifts up there. In the middle of the bonnet is where you'll find the bonnet release catch, and that will show you where your screen wash power steering fluid, brake fluid, your water heater. Positive point and negative point can just be found there on the little screw, should you need it. So releasing it down to close it, just like so. So that's the outside done. We've also got an awning light that's just underneath there. Let's move on to the inside of the vehicle and go through that. So to lock the door, you'll just turn the little handle like that and that will lock it in place. Turn it back round and that will open it up again. To movement and that will open it back up. We've also got a fly screen on the door as well. Keep out all them flies and mosquitoes. And then we've got the main control panel just to be found here. So what we need to do is, once we want to get power into the vehicle, we'll press a little 12 volt and that will light up any lights that are already on and put power to the inside of the vehicle. You can see above that we've got an indicator telling us how much that we're actually plugged into the mains electric. So that's an indicator as well. Then we've got several buttons just here. So giving us power in the vehicle battery, power in the leisure battery, giving us a level in the freshwater. It's empty at the moment, so it'll read nothing. And an empty in your wastewater. So again, that's reading the bottom of that little dial there. We've got then a temperature outside, just by flicking that on and off. This one doesn't actually work. It doesn't have a sensor for that. And then we've got pump on, which you'll hear the pump kicking in, and turning off. So make sure that obviously once you've built it up to pressure, you can turn the pump on and it will sit down once the taps are closed and the pressure is up to the right setting. Underneath that, we've got your TV. So that can be just located there. And there's a little bar that you just lift to the side to then move the TV bracket around. A couple of light switches just in this area here, which will do the lights above and the welcome lights. So that can be found there. And then the little down lights have their own little switches to turn them on and off, should you want to do that. Just like so. So this is where your fresh water tank can be found, underneath the forward facing seat. And it comes with a little cap that I've just removed, just to show you that in the bottom there is where the bung goes in. You've got the little bung here, which just goes in place when you want to fill up the fresh water, and that will stop the water from going out of the actual tank itself. So that is your fresh water tank. Once it's full, it will overflow out of the outside, and that's where that can be found. The vehicle has two forward facing seats as well as the driver and passenger, so that 4 people can travel safely in this vehicle. And there we are, set up for them travelling seats. The headrests adjust in height by pushing them up and pulling them down. Into the kitchen area, we've got your sink, your drainer and your 3-burner hob. We've got main socket just up there, another main socket just in there, and a 12-volt socket just above. And then again, we've got your chopping board, which is just sits nicely there. And again, the vehicle comes with a full pack and detail supplied with the previous owners. Cooking wise, we've got the grill and oven option, which just lifts up, and that can be turned on by turning the dial that way for the grill, and to the left by pushing it in for the actual oven unit. Oven just turns, the grill is just on or off. So just bear that in mind, and up to the top is off. The fridge, you'll need to put the power onto it, and then you'll need to either select whether you're going to go onto gas, mains, 12 volt when the vehicle's running only, or auto, and you'll see there it's automatically flicked over to the desired option that you are currently on. So at the minute we're plugged into mains, so it's gone on to the mains. The next option here is your thermostat for the control. So if you want to turn it down, again the indicators will go out to the lowest setting and then go back up when you turn it back down to the highest setting. So we've got a separate freezer which just has the catches to lock it in place, and then again moving the latches, you've got a separate fridge compartment. So doing both options in there. So close them to the opposite ways, And then if you want to turn that off, just press that button there, and that will power down that fridge unit by turning that off just there. This one is a little blower that blows around the actual freezer unit as well. So you can either leave it on or turn it off. Obviously the light is on, and then when it is off, it's completely off. To turn the power off to the unit, it's just turning it round from there to the little circle. So that's the freezer, pretty simple as well. You've got your main RCD box in here with a little trip switch on the top. So if you're wanting to know that you have got power into the vehicle, you'll just be advised to just try this first. So if you plugged into mains and you hit that switch, then it should flick down just as you've seen there. To reset it, just lift the switches back up. Now if you was to press that and nothing happened, you're not getting any power to the vehicle. So make sure that you check the actual fittings that you're plugged into or your mains cable itself. To this side we've got your heater controls. Now this is running the Truma system, and it's a pretty sort of easy system to navigate through. You've got two separate dials to understand. The top dial has a position for heating the water on 40 degrees, 60 degrees, the circle being off, heating only, and then below that you have heating and hot water. Now never do the hot water if you've not got water in your boiler, and to pull water through your boiler you'll need to shut the drain valve, which I'll show you in a minute, and you'll need to just put the pump on, pull it through the hot water system until you get a steady stream, and then you know your boiler will be full. So once it's full, you can put your setting to do the water or heating and hot water. To turn the temperature of the heating, you'll turn this inside dial. Obviously the fan speed on 9 is at its strongest and on 1 is at its weakest. So that is setting the option that you are trying to do. So 60 degrees is water heater only, 40 degrees is water heating only at 40. The circle is off. The flame down one is heating only, and then down again for your 60 and your flame is heating and hot water. So below that then we have the options that we're trying to fuel. So we have a flame, and on this one it means gas only. Move it up one, that would mean that we're trying to heat it on 1 kilowatt electric. Move it up again, that would mean we're trying to do it on 2 kilowatt electric. Move it all the way below, and we've got 1 kilowatt electric and gas. And then finally the two marks at the bottom are 2 kilowatt electric and gas. So in this case we'd flick it to the electric one, and that would then heat the vehicle if we needed heating in the vehicle. Pretty straightforward. The operation you're trying to do, the fuel source that you're trying to do it with. Yep. Now in this bottom locker area, you'll see there are two little switches just located here. You'll need to flick this one down to let the boiler fill up, and then also just lift up that little red one, and that will then allow you to fill up the boiler, which is located in there for the use of your water. When you're draining it, you want to just press that down and then lift up that little yellow switch, and that will also drain the boiler of any water. Your gas valves can be found above, but don't isolate them from here, always isolate it from your bottles. And you'll see that there are several points within the vehicle for your heating to come through. Behind into here, you've got a little latch, just pulls down, and that will release the steps to give you access up to the bed area. Again, when you're closing it, close it halfway, lift the latch up, and then press that button in, just like so. The Heckeys all have flash screens and blinds, same on the windows at the side, and again we've got storage just along there, and a light switch just here for turning off that larger light there. The bathroom area, we've got your flush indicator that just tells you there. We've also got then, when you lift up the toilet, you've got your blade valve. So this needs to be in a closed position to allow the toilet to be pulled out. Slide it to the back of the vehicle, and that will open the toilet cassette blade for using the toilet. Again, we've got storage and heating into here. We've got the sliding compartment which just unbuckles there and slides around for using your shower. When you're travelling though, just make sure that that is locked back in place with the little buckle here. And we've got the mixer taps that can just be found on there. Shower head mixer is just behind. So just store in transit, just as we see it here. And again, you've got a little panel that then comes along, gives you access, and we've got a little option here where there's a little seat for you to sit on, just there. And then when you're showering, that'll lift out and then up and into there for your showering in the vehicle. When you're moving along, again, pop that back in there, just like so. Nice and neatly, lift that up. Make sure that nothing's trapped in the way. Move it forward as that, probably is the easiest way. And then latch that in place so it doesn't move in transit. And then that magnetises round and keeps it all stored away, nice and easy. You've got your light switch, which is just here for underneath the cupboard. And then your light switch that can just be found in there. And then these are all, as they say, push fittings. Just push them to open them. That'll give you the storage. The roof light on the head here just pulls down and opens up and then slides back down and locks in place. You've got your fly screen and your blind just on there. So nice and neatly. Coat hooks for hanging up your dressing gowns, and we've got a towel rail just there, as well as your mixer tap just on the top for your washing of your hands. The toilet also swivels around, so if you want more leg room, you can swivel it around to do that. And the floor's a quick dry material that just wipes clean as and when you want to do it. Above in the cupboards, we've got, like I say, clicking cupboard locks. So that's fine. You can just open and then hear quite a defined click when you're doing it. You've also got some main sockets and 12-volt sockets just there as well. The table does lift out and it will split with the level there and go onto the lower section to make up the bed, and I'll show you that in a few steps now. So your first step is to remove the bottom section of the table and sit the table just in situ there. This section then will lift up and slide along to give you the support just on here for that section. And then we have a couple of makeup pillows which just go there, which I'll grab from the garage area. So that's the general way that I would generally do it. You'll see the cutout that was in the garage just goes neatly in there. Your two sections there, and then your infill cushion just there. So that is your secondary berth for the visitors. It's always advisable that you put probably a mattress topper on it for a bit more comfort, but that's how it works out. And then just reverse it when you're putting it back in an evening. So while the table's out, you'll also see that there is a heater. So this is an in-transit heater for you when you're moving along, and then another heater vent underneath. We've also got the big picture roof light here, which is an opening one, which you use the winding handle when you release those to give you air coming in through there. The windows all open pretty much the same, so use a little window stays and then they will just open up as and when you want to use them. And then the same on the side ones here, so they all work exactly the same. We've got in the cab area cab air conditioning, 6-speed gearbox. It has got cruise control. You've got your indicators and your washers, and on this side is where you will find your mirrors and your electric window switches. The reverse camera, which has been added, is just found there, and we have your lock buttons and your hazard buttons just there. The seats themselves will swivel round and they will adjust. The adjusters can just be found on the outer section of the seats, so just here on both of them. And then to release the seat from its actual position, you'll need to use the slider bar to move it forward and backwards, which you lift up here. And once it's in the lockable position, just pull this lever back and that will allow the vehicle to spin around and the seats to be either in the driving position, which you see just there, or spun back around to be used in the living position. That pretty much concludes our instructional video for the Solano T695. I hope you find it useful, informative, and we really hope you enjoy your new motorhome. Thank you.